2 myofascial release balls, or a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball works as well, but these are great, and I will give you the link in all of your information. So you want to grab a ball. We're going to start with a foot massage. So basically what you're going to do is just ground in one foot, put the ball underneath the other foot, and then just roll. So it's so important to do this, and rarely do we take the time to do it, but you know what? You can do it when you're sitting at night watching TV too. And another great thing to do if you do have issues with plantar fasciitis, or your feet are a little achy, you can take a water bottle and put it in the freezer and roll your foot on that. So to start with for now, you just want to keep it really light and just move around and get some circulation going on your foot. And then we're going to go a little bit deeper. So this is kind of your warm-up, right? Yeah. And the foot that you're standing on, ground that foot, pull your belly in, stand up tall, hands on your hips are great too, and just roll around. So the feet are so important, and we get all of those miles in and pound our feet, and so the self-care is just so critical. All right, so now that you did your little warm-up, you're going to put your weight, you're going to lean into the ball and then lean off of the ball. And you can also kind of wrap your toes around it and get higher up, like towards the ball of the foot. And the more that you lean your body weight into the ball, the more you're going to feel it. Okay? So make sure you're moving the ball around, getting the arch of your foot, getting the outside edge of your foot along like the blade side edge where your pinky toe is, and then your heel as well. So just keep working it around, and like all of our self-massage and myofascial release, you want to be aware of the tender points that you're feeling, the spots in your foot that are a little bit, you're a little more aware of, maybe they're a little sensitive, and work those points, but don't work them too hard. Have a sense of, I'm feeling this, it's good for me, but you don't want to crush it. Okay, you want to be gentle. You guys feeling any spots? Yeah? Not too bad? Not too bad. Good. Got it. Good. All right. So we're going to spend about 2 minutes per foot. And just really, again, finding those trigger points. Now, the next thing you're going to do is roll into it. So you're going to put that pressure from like the ball of the foot so you can wrap your toes around. And then lean your body into it and roll down towards your heel. And then do it again. So start at the ball of the foot. You can take a breath in, right? That's always a good idea. And then lean your body weight into it and roll down towards the heel. And remember, you're getting different angles of the foot. So you can get out towards the pinky toe side of the foot, and then towards the midline of the foot, like middle toe to the center of your heel, and then the instep of your foot from the ball of your foot towards the inside of your heel, like internally rotating, which is where I feel it the most when I'm doing it. So again, just awareness of how is my foot feeling, where are the tender points. We are going to do a quick stretch after we roll out our feet. So if you do this like 2-3 times a week, your feet will be much healthier. All right, good. Now, just go ahead and come off of that ball and stand with both feet flat. And just have awareness, like how does that foot feel that you just rolled out compared to the one that you didn't? Right? A little bit more energy, a little bit more grounded, feels a little bit more circulation. Okay, let's go ahead and do the other side. So start with those trigger points. Ground the foot that you just rolled out. Lean your body weight in and then out. On and off. And you may notice, like everything in our body, that one side might be more tender than the other. One foot might be a little bit more, you have issues with that side. So, if that's the case for you, then make sure you take extra good care of that foot. All right. So on and off, again, from the ball of the foot, you can wrap your toes around, grip onto the ball, and then the middle of the foot, and then all the way down to the heel. And just think of it sort of like as an experiment, just seeking out little tender points in your foot. Go gentle, not too aggressive. And these balls are really nice because they give. If you are working with a lacrosse ball, it's a lot harder, so you just want to be aware of that. And the tennis balls they collapse a little bit easier. But these balls have like a really great consistency to them. There are also balls with little like pokey things coming out of it that hits different points too. So there's all sorts of options that you have. And again, remember the freebie one, which is a water bottle that you can just stick in the freezer. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and just roll around really quick, get the circulation going. Have awareness of that foot that you're standing on at the same time. And then let's do that press and roll. So you press down, you wrap your toes around the top, and then you lean your body weight into it and roll all the way down towards your heel. And you may sort of pop the ball out every now and then. It might sort of squirt out and go rolling across the room. That happens too. So you just grab onto it and get yourself back in position. Remember, you're going for the big toe side, the instep of the foot, the midline of the foot from the middle toe to the center of your heel, and then the outside blade edge of the foot from the pinky toe all the way out towards the outside edge of your heel. Really lean your body weight into it and see how that feels for you. And breathe. So this is your little freebie, 5-minute foot massage. Really, really makes a big difference. And doing a reflexology appointment every now and then is a great idea too. So that would be, one-on-one therapist to see, just like a massage therapist. A lot of them specialize in reflexology. And by the way, there's a million different things that you can do, maybe not a million, 100 different things that you can do self-massage with these myofascial release balls, but we'll handle that all on another day. For right now, we're going to do just this foot massage, and then we're going to do foam rolling. Okay, so go ahead and roll out that foot, and then stand both feet level. And then again, just have that awareness of your feet. So now we're going to do, so your feet are all warmed up, we're going to do a stretch that's great for the arches of the feet. So you guys can come down. I'm going to turn to the side too so you can sort of see. Now, your toes are going to curl under, and for a lot of you that are doing high mileage, this might be really challenging. But if you just start with 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, you can build up to it over time. So the toes curl under, and then you're going to sit your hips back onto your heels. So this is a toe stretch, and it stretches the fascia underneath the feet. Really, really great thing to do. So you guys doing okay?
Yeah, I feel it.
It's a challenging one for a lot of people that do a lot of mileage, people that are really athletic. So again, if it's really not very comfortable for you, just try to hold it for 5 seconds and then build up to 30 seconds, maybe even all the way up to a minute. Okay? All right, excellent. Let's do a downward facing dog, and then we're going to do some foam rolling. So go ahead and spread your fingertips out wide, step your feet back, lift your hips up towards the sky, and then just pedal your heels out right and left. So if you are dealing with an injury, plantar fasciitis, it's really good to make sure that you're stretching, because a lot of times these tight muscles, all the way, they attach into your feet, and that's why over time you can end up with a plantar fasciitis or some sort of inflammatory issue. All right, excellent, you guys. You can go ahead and come off and grab your foam roller. So there's a lot of different densities for foam rollers, and I really like the high density foam rollers because they are great for people that are athletic, but if you're sensitive, you can go with a lighter foam roller. We are going to start with rolling on our back. So good job, you guys, with hydrating. So make sure you hydrate with this, just like when you go to a massage therapist and they tell you to drink lots of water afterwards. You want to make sure you're drinking lots of water when you foam roll and do your self-massage. So we're going to start with your low back on the roller, and you can cross your hands across your chest. And I'll just turn to the side for just a second so you can see. You're kind of having it right below where like the bra strap line would be, and you can go ahead and just roll forward and back. So if you have tender points in your back and it's too challenging for you to do this, you can always take breaks. Just do it, 10 to 15 seconds at a time, and then take a little break. If you tilt your hips or your knees to one side and then the other side, you'll feel it along either side of your spine as well. For some of you, you might want to take your hands and support behind your head if your neck is feeling tight, and just make sure that your chin is gently towards your chest. All right, so you can focus on the lumbar, the low back. You can focus more on the thoracic spine, the middle back, or you can go all the way up to the top of your spine and lift your hips so it's right between your shoulders. So if you're doing that technique, and again, working on all the different parts of your spine is really, really healthy. Try to go from the sacrum and tailbone all the way up to the base of the neck. Not up on the neck, but right at the base of the neck towards the top of your back. All right, and just do about a minute or two of that, and just really get the circulation going through your spine. So again, if you're doing a lot of high mileage, your back can be sore sometimes, and this is just such an easy technique to do. I like to encourage people to do it when they're watching TV at night, at the very end of the day, just before you get in bed. Such a healthy thing to do. All right, so we're going to come up and sit on the roller. So you can go ahead and have a seat and grab onto the roller and sit on top of it. Perfect. Now your hands are going to go out behind the roller, and let's start by crossing the right ankle over the left knee. Okay? You're going to tilt your knee over to the right, and you guys are going to love this one because it gets into the hip. And you're going to roll around on your hip, piriformis, glute area. I like to make a little bit of a circular motion, kind of going all around the hip joint. And if it's really tender for you, it will loosen up over time. So even with the first 10-15 seconds, you know, it'll start to relax, hopefully a little bit. And also you can go cross fiber. So you can rock from right to left this way. So that's a nice thing to do too. Again, there's really no right or wrong. What you want to really focus on doing is seeking out those spots that are really tender and sore in your body and releasing them. That's it. So roll around a few more seconds and get into those tight areas. Yeah, I know. It's definitely a hurt so good thing, hopefully. All right, so let's go ahead and switch and see how the other side feels. So adjust yourself accordingly, and then left ankle over right knee, drop over to your left, and then again, circular motion. And I forgot to mention on the other side, but you can take your hand and put it on your opposite knee too, and then that way it just gives you a little bit more ability to move around for some people. So do what feels good for you. And just remember, like we were talking about earlier, one side might, like with your feet, one side might feel a little more tight than the other. So it is all good. That's just the way it is in a body. Don't forget to try the cross fiber. So rocking forward and back. And it's a seek and destroy. So you're seeking out the tender spots and really trying to hold on to them. Like you're not trying to avoid those tender spots. You're trying to go into them a little bit, but be soft with it. You're not trying to kill it. You want to, because if you try to really try to crush it and kill it, it actually can inflame the tissue even more. So be gentle. All right, excellent. Go ahead and come off of that. So from there, we're going to work into the hamstrings. So you can again have your hands behind your roller, and your feet can be out straight, and you can just roll forward and back to start with. So you need to engage your core muscles a little bit here as well, because we don't want to be slumping the shoulders, right? And a couple things that you can try. So if you take your legs out into a wide straddle and turn your toes in and out, like you're just kind of stirring in and out, it hits the different areas of your hamstrings. So rather than just forward and back, straight forward and back, you can roll around and see if you can find any little bumps and knots in there, and that's what you're looking for. And then if this is not feeling intense enough for you, you can actually cross one foot over the other, and that's going to put a little bit more weight into that hamstring. And same thing, if you want to internally rotate, externally rotate a little bit, like stir around, yeah, you'll hit lots of different areas. And the arms might fatigue a little bit, so you can take a break if you need to. But remember not to slump into your shoulders. Keep your belly pulled in, your chest lifted. Okay, go ahead and switch into the other leg if you're doing single leg, which is definitely the way that I prefer to do it. It just feels good. Again, if you're finding little knots, you can hold on to that area of knot and just sort of rock into that knot. And that way you'll really try to, break up any adhesions that are sort of holding in different areas of the tissue. All right, let's go ahead and come off of that. We're going to do a quick chest stretch. I just want to show you this because this is just such a nice posture break, especially after holding yourself up. So I'm just going to turn to the side. You guys can stay where you are. But again, the roller's going to be about the bra strap line-ish, right below your scapula, hands behind your head. And you're just going to back bend over the roller, which feels so fantastic. So much of what we do every day takes us into this forward flexion position, including running, right? So opening up the posture and just letting gravity, so your sacrum's down, sorry, sacrum down. Yep, sorry, yeah, there you go. So sacrum is down, tailbone's down, and then you're just allowing gravity to open up your chest, your shoulders, and the whole front line of the body. You can wiggle a little bit right to left, so right elbow towards the right side of the foam roller, and then left elbow towards the left side of the foam roller. So you're just kind of, wiggling a little bit right to left, which should feel fantastic. Go ahead and come up from that. All right, so we're going to work down the back side of the legs, so the back line of the body, and we're going to do calves next. So same thing with hamstrings. You can do both calves at the same time. It is a little fatiguing on the shoulders, so just FYI. And you can, I don't really like both of them together. I like crossing one over. And again, you have to hit different areas of your calf. So you got to kind of stir around one direction and the other. You guys keep doing that, and I'm just going to demo, like I mentioned, there's so many different things you can do with these myofascial release balls. You can do the same thing, with the ball. Okay, so depending on what tools you have at home, a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball, or a myofascial release ball, or a foam roller, work with what you have, So lots of different options. So go ahead and switch, you guys. And the nice thing about the ball, as opposed to the roller, is it hits more targeted spots, where the roller is more like a steamroller, and hits a bigger area. Also, I forgot to mention, you can have your foot behind the roller like this, and that gives you a little bit more support when you're pushing. So many little tricks that you can do. As you have that foot down, you kick down into that foot behind the roller, and then you don't have to work so hard with your shoulders. Or you can have that foot on top, which is obviously going to give you more weight and more intensity. All right, very good. So that's the whole back line of the body. We're going to do a downward facing dog next, so you can just scoot your roller out of the way. And go ahead and come into downward facing dog. So a great thing to do right after you roll everything out is to stretch it out. So bend one knee, drop the opposite heel down, enjoy that good stretch, and then pedal and switch sides. And, do that pedaling action maybe 6, 8, 10 times from side to side, really stretching your heel down towards the ground, getting that great stretch all along the back of the leg, calf, Achilles, and even into the fascia of your feet. All right, so from there you can go ahead and release your knees down. You're going to grab onto your roller again, and we're going to do the quads and the IT bands and the groin inner thigh. So from here, you're going to come basically down into a forearm plank. So the roller is going to be right below the pubic bone and the hips, and you can have your forearms out in front of you. So rolling forward, right to above the kneecap. So you don't want to roll onto the kneecap. You just want to pull and drag forward and back. So a couple variations here as well, of course. You can take the legs out wide and internally rotate the toes, externally rotate the toes as you drag in and out, which is going to hit different heads of the quad. So that's one option. You can also bend the knees, toes to the sky. That opens up the quads a little bit more and allows you to get, maybe a little bit deeper. So while you're dragging forward and back, let's just have awareness on the belly pulling in and up, the shoulders back and down, so again, you're not slumping. So you are getting a little bit of core work here. Feeling good? Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. So if the hip flexors are an issue for you, roll all the way back and try to get towards the top of the thigh. I'm going to show you a little variation for hip flexors here in a second too. So you want to get as close to the top of your hip as you can without rolling on your hip. So let's do a few more forward and back. And here's another variation to try. You can do upward facing dog. Again, not rolling onto the knees, but right above them. And rolling back so your forearms come down. So this is just nice because it gives you a little bit of a back bend too, which I enjoy, but not for everyone. You get a little bit of tricep work here too, which is cool. Okay, so let's just do one more of those. And I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but if this is your off day, like not running day, this is a great time to foam roll, or after a long run too. So there's really no bad time to do it. It's just a great recovery day thing. Okay, so this is how you get the hip flexor. This is a little bit awkward to get into, but you're going to have your knee out to the side, and the foam roller is right at the top of your hip, right here, like where the hip attaches into the quad, from the hip right above attaching into the quad. So the other knee is out to the side, kind of supporting you, and you just rock forward and back. So I don't feel that a whole lot. That's not an area for me, but for people that have hip flexor, take hip flexor. Okay, so Katie's feeling that one a lot. So, you know, we all have our thing, right? Okay, so that's your hip flexor. Again, very small, but can really cause a big problem if you don't practice the self-care. All right, so from there, we are going to do groin inner thigh. So very similar to what we were just doing as far as the knee propping out to the side. Again, a little awkward to get into. The knee's going to be out to the side, the forearms down. And you need to scoot your roller back far enough that it can clear your arm too. So you're rolling in towards the groin. Yep, all the way in, and then out, right? And if the groin and your thigh are sore, tender, especially for those of you who are cyclists in the group, great exercise, awesome stretch. And then the next one, of course, we're working around the leg, is going to be IT band, which is everyone's favorite, of course. All right, one more in and out. Perfect. Okay, so coming up from there, we're going to roll to the side. I'll get a little bit out in front for you guys. And we're going to stay on the same leg. So what you want to do is come to the side, and you're going to prop your forearm down and have the other foot out straight with the leg that you're not rolling out in front of you for support. So now you're dragging down towards the top of your knee, not on your knee, but where the knee attaches on the outside of your leg, and then down towards your hip, right above your hip. Okay, so dragging it up and down. Now the more you kick into this foot out in front, the less pressure and weight you will feel. So do that. If you are really hardcore with this, and again, I don't encourage more is more, I encourage less is more. But if you really do feel like you need more, you can straighten both legs out, which is going to give you a lot of pressure and weight on that, and drag forward and back, which is I'm not going to do right now because it'll be excruciating for me. But do what feels good and right for you. Okay? You guys do one or two more. And make sure you're breathing. Okay, breathing and hydration are really, really key while you're doing this foam rolling. Okay, perfect. Your legs are going to feel so good when you're done this, I promise you. All right, so we're going to do hip flexor on the other side now. So go ahead and flip to the other side. So your knee is out to the side for support, and then the foam roller is right here at the top, below your hip bone, but above your quad. All right? And this other knee is out to the side just for support. See how this hip flexor feels. Maybe you feel it, you know, a lot, maybe not so much. And then just take your time exploring a little bit in that area and seeing if you can release some tension. All right. Look at this. Hello. We have a little bird friend here enjoying. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to groin inner thigh. So go ahead and bring yourself up. Same kind of thing. This knee is propped to the side for support, or the bottom leg is your support. The knee is propped to the side. And then you're rolling out towards the inner thigh. As you roll out, the roller rolls in towards your inner thigh. And it's an awesome stretch too. So this foam rolling is just something that you want to do in addition to your stretching on occasion. You know, a couple times a week would be ideal. 2-3 times a week. Consistency is the key, like all of our training. And, you know, it's something that you do in addition to your stretching to help with blood flow, to help with recovery, and it just feels really good when you practice it regularly. Now, if it's brand new for you, it might not feel so good, but as you practice it regularly, you know, it actually, you look forward to it. So it's a little reward, great thing to do on your not running day, or at the end of a busy day before you sleep. Okay, let's do one more. And go ahead and come up from that. All right, last thing for this leg is the IT band. So again, turning to the side, staying on the same leg. Prop your other foot out in front so that you have that support. You can kick down through that foot, and then as you roll forward and back, you can sort of get a sense of how this IT band is feeling. Don't forget to engage your core muscles. Don't slump into your shoulders. Keep it all strong in there. And if you decide that you can handle a little bit more, go ahead and take the top leg and straighten it out and continue to drag forward and back and see how that feels for you. If you're finding points that are really tender, hold on to those points. Like, stay with it. Stay at that spot and kind of just get a little bit of a gentle rocking motion so you're trying to break up the adhesions in that area. All right, a couple more forward and back. A little sore on this side?
Yeah.
Me too.
This whole side.
This will make you sweat. One more time, forward and back. Okay, excellent. All right, you guys, so that was sort of your run through for your lower body. We're going to finish out with a variation of a Shavasana, which I love, using the foam roller since you have it. So Gabby, yours is going to be a little bit different and your roller's not. Actually, let's switch, okay? So I can demonstrate on this one. So you guys are going to sit on the end of your foam roller, and you can turn maybe a little bit to diagonal. Just turn this side for the feet. Okay. Yeah, like turn your feet, yep. And then you're going to roll all the way back onto your roller so that your head is on the roller. You want to make sure your tailbone's all the way down at the end so that your head's on the top. And then you can take your arms. So a couple variations with your feet. The wider that your feet are apart, the more stable you're going to feel. If your toes and knees are together, you're going to feel less stable. You can let your knees knock together to touch if you like, if that feels good for you. You can straighten your legs completely like Gabby's doing. And you can straighten your arms out to the side so you really get this easy supported chest opener. So again, this is gravity assisted. You don't have to do a thing except enjoy. If you do have a shorter foam roller, what you're going to do, you're going to get a more dramatic back bend, but the thoracic spine is at the base of the roller, and then you're getting your back bend here. Same variations with your legs, so feet hip bone distance apart, knees knocking together. Or you could always just do the back bend that we did earlier, which was here. All right, so what I want you to do is take 3 deep breaths in and out through your nose. And as you exhale, see if you can really let go. Relax your shoulders. Think of all of this work that you just did over the last 15, 20 minutes, all that circulation, that healing energy that you created through your body, and just let that healing energy soak into your body, taking the time to unplug, to be still, and to recharge. Take one more deep breath in and out through your nose. Exhale completely and soften and relax your shoulders, your feet, your hips. And then we're going to slowly come up. So if your legs are out straight, you're going to bend your knees so that your feet are flat. And all you're going to do is roll to one side of the roller. So you can just sit straight up if that feels okay on your back. But for a lot of people, just rolling to one side and kind of coming off of the roller is a little easier on your back. So it really just depends on you. All right, go ahead and cross your legs. You're just going to take your roller and bring it right out in front of you. We're just going to finish with one more easy stretch. So the roller out in front, you're going to take a deep breath in. You can just cross your legs. And then roll the roller out in front of you and drop your head down between your arms. take a deep breath in and out through your nose, and just notice what foot is on top or out in front, because we are going to switch. Take one more deep breath in. See if you can roll the roller a quarter of an inch further away and relax your head and your shoulders even more. And then go ahead and drag the roller to you, and whichever foot is on top or in front, recross the legs. So the other foot is on top or in front. Take a deep breath in, sit up tall. And exhale, roll it forward. Drop your head again. Now you may notice this hip is a little tighter because the other side you just did automatically. That's your favored way of sitting. So this is the one that's typically a little tighter. So as you breathe in, see if you can send that breath all the way into your lungs as deeply as possible. And exhale, soften and relax your hips. One more deep breath. And a long, slow exhale, relaxing even more and sliding slightly further out if you can. And then roll it all the way back to you. Awesome job, you guys. So just taking that 15, 20, 30-minute time out to practice self-care is such an important thing to do. Remember to stay hydrated. So keep hydrated today, throughout the day, because that will help to flush out the muscles as well. Okay, good work. Namaste.